Hello. First of all, let me address the fact that yes, I'm in a closet. This isn't like kind of video I would usually make, but I actually haven't made any in a while. So like a couple months ago, one week when I was at church during worship, God kind of told me something, and I feel like it's something that I haven't shared too much because I don't know if it'll make sense the way I'm saying it. So I don't want it to seem like, I don't want it to seem almost judgy, but it's not. It's not judgy or anything like that. It's like, so I was at church and I was worshiping, and God gave me this image of a sponge. And you know, a sponge is meant to absorb things. And he kind of said, like, this is you, or this is us, this is people, us humans. We're like a sponge. And we can be filled up with a lot of things. And so if you grab a sponge and it's filled up with water already, or a liquid already, it's already wet, and you try to use it to clean up water that you spilled on the counter, it's not going to absorb the liquid on the counter. Why is that? Because it's already full of something. It's not going to be able to do its job, its purpose. It's not going to be able to do what it was made to do because it is filled up with something else. If we're like that sponge and we're filled up with something that we shouldn't be, sometimes we get filled up with the world and we're like that sponge and we can't do our purpose. We can't be filled up with the things of God because we're filled up with the things of the world. And so the image that God gave me was the sponge. What do you do when it's full of something, so a liquid, and you need to reuse it? You squeeze the sponge out. And when you do that, it can more easily absorb now than it could before. And so what we need to do is, in order to get closer to God, because we question so much, how do we get closer to God and how do we have that relationship and that connection? And what we have to do is squeeze ourselves out from the things of the world like we do with that sponge, and use that sponge ourselves that is now empty to fill it up with the things of God. And now we are using it in the right way. Another analogy that I talked about with a friend was, have you ever eaten really bad? Maybe you just had like some friends come over and you just junked out like chips and candy, and you eat all that stuff and you fill yourself up on it, and you might still feel hungry, but you don't want the junk anymore, but also you just don't feel like eating it all anymore because you're just so like, you feel like that. That's the only way I can describe it. And that's kind of a similar thing that happens, similar to also the sponge analogy, is you just get so full of the things of the world and things that aren't good for you that you then don't want to fill yourselves up with the things that are good for you. So I say all this to say, like, you know, a lot of times they ask people, you know, their friends, their family, pastor, whatever, how can I get closer to God? Or why is my relationship with God not really like taking off? Or why am I having trouble? And sometimes it's that we get filled up with things of the world, that it makes it hard for us to take in the things of God. And I guess my little inspiration for you today to help you keep on pushing is just to say, squeeze yourselves out from the things of the world. And really, if you have to rid yourself from those things, then do it. And if you have to just cut back on the things, then do it. It could be anything. It could be, you know, watching too many movies and then you don't have any more energy left to read the Bible. Maybe it's, you know, you're hanging out with friends all the time and then you don't really want to go to that church event because you're kind of tired of hanging out with people. And that could go for anything. Those are just random examples, but I didn't expect that I was going to talk about this today, but I've been thinking about that a lot recently. And as I was downstairs cleaning up, I was cleaning the stove and using a sponge, and God kind of brought that to my mind again, and I just couldn't stop like thinking about it until I sat down and recorded this video. So I don't know if anyone's going to see it. I don't know if it's going to help anyone to see this, but I hope that kind of encouraged you a little bit. Just keep filling yourselves up with good things that God has for you, and trying to take a break sometimes from the things that the world offers you. And this video is not meant to be judgy or anything at all. This also is a message to myself, because obviously God gave it to me because I also struggle with that. So thanks for watching. I hope you feel a little bit encouraged in a sense, and have a great day.